Although I will say,
microsite, which is raveclubs.com/ISE. So this has been the busiest ISE.
hey, this is Gary Kayye. We're at ISE 2025 with a familiar face, Rich Ventura from Sony. Rich, first off, welcome to Barcelona. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I got in yesterday morning, so the wall's starting to hit, but I've been nonstop meetings. It's been great.
Well, this is day one. It's a very impressive show. 1,600 exhibitors here. One of the big ones is Sony. Tell me what Sony's focused on at ISE 2025.
You know, it's all about what we've been laying out, right? It's all about sustainability message, our integrations, our partnerships. It's about telling a story. And I think that's the thing we miss at a lot of these shows is we talk so much about our tech, we miss the story. How's the tech being used? Who's using it? Why they're using it? All that kind of stuff, right? And so as you look through the booth, it's all about stories. And storytelling is, I think it's a lost art when it comes to the trade shows.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that even other booths too, they're doing more of it now.
Yeah, instead of talking about features and specs.
Yes.
But obviously a big draw for your booth is CLED, a big draw for your booth is Bravia, and those are driving the content for stories.
It is, and if you look at the stories, we'll talk about CLED, right? You've got virtual production, which has been a massive growth area for Sony. And you know, we're the only manufacturer who can sit there and show you we own so much of the workflows, from the cameras to the background, to the virtual events, all that stuff, right? And then you look at CLED, you know, with the way they've done it here this year, I really appreciate it. It is about a story in a vertical, in an application. Instead of just saying, here's CLED in the front of the booth every year and everybody goes ooh and ah, they're really telling the story about how it's being used, which is really what we need to be doing.
Well, the ooh and ah is still impressive.
Yes.
We're going to go around and shoot individual videos on everything Sony is showing here. You can see those videos at ravepubs.com/ISE. Of course, type in Sony in the video search window. When it comes to Bravia, I know a big focus for Bravia has been the partnerships that you've created through your system on a chip architecture. Is that reflected here as well?
It is. You know, if we looked at what we did at Infocom last year, right? I think we had about 15, 20 partners in our booth.
Yeah.
We're showing how they're using our product, right? They've taken that same idea here, and they're actually, what I really like is they're also showing case studies and showing exact integrations and installations that have happened. So it's not just showing a logo, right? It's showing that this installation happened at XYZ, and these are all the parts that went into it. So it's the storytelling, right?
Yeah.
And keep in mind, SoC is only a piece of the equation.
Right.
We have many customers who say, an SoC is not going to be as powerful enough for me, or they want to do different things, and that's why we have the relationships with the Bright Signs and all those guys of the world. So we can tell a story, whether you're going simple signage all the way to the most complex. Sony's a big part of that story in the middle.
Sony's one of the few brands that makes every kind of display technology. I mean, you even have projection, obviously, as a big part of it. And a lot of people 10 years ago thought projection was going to go away. But yet in higher education, it's still everywhere. And in image mapping and projection mapping, it's still everywhere. Which of the technologies, since you make all of them, which of the technologies is your personal favorite?
Honestly, you know, displays, 100%, but I do love what we do on our cameras with the AI tracking and all that kind of stuff. I think when you look at CLED and the multi-purpose of CLED, whether it's virtual production, corporate, entertainment, education, it's really shown what Sony's technology is about, and also the integrations that we're doing, right? So, I mean, I love Bravia, love projectors, I love all the different things to do. So it's really hard to pick a favorite kid, but I will say CLED is always going to be that first and foremost to us. The other
and
thing
it's a big differentiator for you.
It's a huge differentiator, but the thing is, it's all the Sony story, right? We can go into a conference room and they can use our cameras and our projectors, or our cameras and our Bravias, and our cameras and our LEDs. That is what really the story is, and that's the thing that we're most proud about.
Well, speaking of your cameras, you have Edge AI built into your cameras, which means that you don't have to actually do the processing in the cloud or through a compute device. You're doing it in the cameras. Obviously, that's every year getting better and better, and I'm expecting to see even more of that in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what we did when we introduced the A12 and the A40, it's almost 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
It's all about AI in the cameras that's doing the tracking. It's also, you know, it's giving you full torso, upper torso, neck above, and you're not losing anybody, right? But we've taken that even further as you look at the updates we've done, adding multiple people into it, being able to personify things. So that is really, really critical as you look at what we're doing with camera technology. And it's not even just the A12 and A40. We introduced the BRC camera.
Yeah, the BRCs,
and the BRC has that same technology, and that's a massive a massive game changer against our competition.
Yeah, I think you have and that's something we should mention too, is that you're not just building displays, you're from beginning to end in production. Every part of production when it comes to movie, television, all of that.
We always talk about from the living room to the boardroom.
Yeah.
Right? Our technology sits in the living room, it sits in the theaters, it sits in the boardroom, it sits in the signage, all those different things. So really the living room to the boardroom is how our technology works.
All right, well, obviously you can see all of it at Sony.com, but we're going to go around and shoot individual product videos, including their virtual production here inside the booth here at ISE 2025. Go to raypubs.com/ISE, type in Sony in the video search window. Rich, thank you very much. I hope you get a chance to recover. I think I've got the solution. The earlier you go to bed, the less tired you are the next day.
I was
it
in
works.
bed by 9:30 and it
linear.
didn't work. No, it just on my feet in meetings. It's been great though. I mean, the end users, the U.S. customers here, because that's obviously I represent the U.S.
Yeah.
I have meetings seriously every 30 minutes. The U.S. contingency here is very strong.
Yeah, and we have 1,600 booths here. It's a big show.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and we got a lot more ISE 2025 to cover. All of our coverage at raypubs.com.